Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr here for Simon Says Stamp with the November 2024 edition of Making the Cut. Making the Cut is my series here on Simon Says Stamp where we talk about the joy of all things die cutting. Today we are going to be creating some adorable die cut snowman gift tags. This could also be used to adorn the front of a card if you don't have the need or want of gift tags, or these could just be beautiful ornaments for your tree. We're going to start by taking the pieces, which I have die cut off camera. This circle is the inside circle from the frame from the Mama Elephant Serenity Snowflake, or Serenity Ornament, pardon me. And I am going to go ahead and run this through my Splendid Snowflakes embossing folder from Simon Says Stamp to give it texture. Then we're going to flip it over and we're going to use the Versa Fine Clear Nocturne ink, which is a black pigment ink, and we're going to use this for the blackout technique, so we end up with these black backgrounds with white snowflakes. Setting those aside to dry, I'm then going to take my ornament. This is the Serenity ornament again from Mama Elephant, and I have two of these die cut, one for the front, one for the back. For the one for the front, we are going to stamp greetings on this with the Jolly Christmas stamp set. I'm stamping Merry Christmas with the beautiful crimson color archival ink. Then we're going to stamp the rest of our sentiment, also from Jolly Christmas, that reads "For You with Love," with that same Nocturne black ink we used for the blackout technique. We're going to line it up and then we'll simply stamp these. I'm using both sides of my MISTI to do this. If you were going to make more than just the two ornaments I'm sharing in today's video, you could quickly and easily be stamping both at the same time to make this mass production even quicker. I love customizing the back of my tags this way, plus there's still plenty of room to write the recipient's name. The other great thing about having this on the back of the ornament is that the front remains clear and free of any type of text, making it a beautiful ornament for the recipient to hang on their tree or use as a decoration. Now that we have the back stamped, it's time to start assembling the front. In addition to the Serenity ornament from Mama Elephant, I also have components from the Simon Says Stamp Forest Ring and Frosty die cut sets. Here are the pieces from the Serenity ornament that I'm using. The frame, the ornament base, the frame, and the top of the ornament. I'm going to go ahead and glue my ornament front to the ornament back. You can skip this if you want to use the backside of the frame we used for the greeting, but I like that extra layer of cardstock to give my tag ornament more stability. Then we're going to glue the little ornament topper, which is die cut from gold cardstock, one to the front and one to the back. I do recommend doing one on each because it does keep the back of your tag looking as beautiful as the front. I'm using a little liquid glue to glue these together. Once we have this in place, we can then use the frame as kind of a template to know where to place our blackout snowflake piece. And I say use it as a guide. We are going to use the frame, but I want to pop it up because that's going to give a little additional dimension to our scene, plus provide us a place to tuck our snowman in place. So we're going to kind of hold this in place. You can also use a magnet if you have one. I do have one and I forgot to use it. And then we're going to reinsert our blackout snowflake circle. And I'm going to grab an acrylic block to use to kind of help press that in place instead of my fingers. I don't want to get my fingers all black and inky with the pigment ink. It wasn't quite dry. I probably should have allowed it to dry a little bit longer, but no fear. I washed my hands and we'll use that acrylic block to kind of help press everything down. Using my favorite thin foam adhesive strips from Simon Says Stamp, we're going to peel the backing off when we remove it from the sheet that they come on, and this allows us to manipulate that foam right around this curved edge. If you want, this would be a great time to turn this ornament into a shaker. I'm not going to do that today. We're just adding dimension, but I always love a good shaker. Then I'm going to replace my frame popped up right here on the Serenity ornament base. We're going to do this for both of the ornaments. I really recommend, if you're going to be making a whole set of these, maybe you want to gift them to someone or use them for your own gift giving this year, that this would be a great time to just go ahead and make all of the ornament bases. It is much quicker to do mass producing. Now at this point, this is really about where if you want to change up the color scheme to match your wrapping paper or your own personal home decor style, you can. I am adding touches of red and going with a very traditional red and green with that black and white base for my tags. But with the change up of the die cutting of the Snowman's accessories and the ribbon you use, you can easily change this to any color scheme. Now, part of the reason I picked the Serenity ornament today is that this wonderful forest ring fits right around the perimeter of this design. If you have any other kind of ornament, you can definitely use it in the same way. But I loved it because I liked how it decorated the outer ring of my ornament. So I die cut this from some Hero Arts Palm cardstock and adhered it right around the perimeter. I love how it turned out. It looks absolutely incredible and amazing, and you could really sit any kind of image inside here, or if you made it a shaker, you could really just leave it as is for a little bit more of an elegant look instead of the more whimsical design I'm doing here. Next, let's assemble our Frosty. This snowman is so cute, and it has this layering piece that looks like a shadowed effect. Once we have him all put together, you'll really see that. I've die cut my base from a white shimmer cardstock for my snowman, the fog cardstock from Simon Says Stamp for the shadow, so it's just that beautiful light gray. His top hat is black glitter cardstock with Schoolhouse red accent. The scarf is also from Schoolhouse red, and we'll add some additional embellishing to this in just a minute so that it really stands out. You could also do some pattern paper if you want to add even more whimsical to your Frosty. I love the carrot nose is not just a triangle. It actually has some shape and texture to it. I've die cut that from some canned pumpkin. Then we're going to take the ground coffee arms and we're going to stick those out. I love that you can use them with or without the included mittens. We of course are going to use the mittens today because I love that he has his full-on winter attire. I've also die cut the mittens from Schoolhouse red and the cuffs for the mittens from white glitter cardstock. I love being able to mix and match all of these amazing textures and kinds of cardstocks. I think the glitter adds that wonderful wintry holiday touch. Look how cute! Okay, we're going to be tucking him into the ornament. Now, I should have waited a minute and let my glue dry, so I am going to go ahead and do that. I have to re-glue his cuff on. I was just so excited to see how he worked in my scene. So next, we're going to go ahead and assemble the other Frosty snowman, and then we're going to pop up each snowman inside of the ornament with foam adhesive. There will be a little additional embellishing to do once we have these completely assembled, including gemstones and eyes. The Frosty set does come with a die that die cuts the buttons going down Frosty's center as well as his button eyes, but this is a wonderful opportunity to dive into your embellishment stash. I love black pearls for the eyes. I love the Simon Says Stamp Positively Dazzling gems for the buttons going down the front. You could even use them to embellish around the snowman if you want a little sparkle in that background. We're going to use red Positively Dazzling gems for the berries on our forest ring. So think about your supplies and what you can use to embellish. There is no fear of having to keep it fairly flat to go through the mail easily or anything like that. So I take full advantage of all of the dimension. You can see we're just doing our little mass producing here. I could even see doing a whole set of these snowmen in different colors. I think that would be amazing as well. The embellishment wand from Simon Says Stamp is an invaluable tool when working with all of these little pieces, as are your tweezers. You're going to see the tweezers get quite a workout with the rest of the assembly for these tags. Now, I like putting his hat at a jaunty little angle. I think it gives so much character to our snowman. I have gone ahead and popped up one of my snowmen right in the ornament. You can see here. He does have foam adhesive squares back behind him so that he stands out from the background and is more on the same layer as the forest ring border. I've added glue to the eyes and I'm using the embellishment wand to place those black pearls in place. This new Peppermint Positively Dazzling gem collection has clear and red gems in it, perfect for adorning the front of our snowman's body and those berries on the forest ring. Now the forest ring is amazing, but we're going to dress it up even more by first adding these red gems, but then we're going to flock it with some snow. I am loving the holiday greenery and foliage dyes, but what I really love is then adding some white grit paste to them to give them that snowy look and feel or that flocked look, depending on kind of what you're creating. Taking the tip of my palette knife, just barely dipped into the grit paste, I am rubbing it kind of messily over any of those green areas. I'm just kind of lifting them up so that I'm not touching anything else. And I want to touch this on the edges of all of my greenery. You'll see how it instantly transforms the design into this beautiful snowy wonderland. That is exactly what I'm looking for these gift tags. And I think this step really does make the greenery shine. Once I have that all done, we can go ahead and do the exact same thing for the second tag. To finish the snowman part, I did add glossy accents to the carrot nose to make it shiny and raised, and I'm taking a white jelly roll pen and adding in that striped texture to the scarf and a little highlight on his hat band. Let's set him aside to completely dry and put together our second tag. So here is the foam adhesive squares on the back, and I'll show you exactly how I tucked him into the ornament. So about 6 squares is going to keep him flush right inside of the Serenity ornament. I'm tucking him down in between the greenery, one hand or mitten slightly in front and the other one back behind. Using some small dabs of glue, I'm adorning the eyes, the belly, and those berries. And then we're going to go through our gems. And the red gems are going to go for the berries, the clear for his belly, and the black pearls for his eyes. Just like the first gift tag, we will then take our grit paste and we will add the flocking to the greenery. Now, normally I would go ahead and put the lid on my grit paste because it does have a tendency to want to dry. It dries very quickly on your project. And so it's going to dry if you leave it open. But I did this very fast and came right back to it so that I could go ahead and add the flocking, and then I could go clean my palette knife I put the lid on and put everything away. Now I noticed that I maybe wasn't very clean with my glossy accents, so before it completely dries, I did use the sharp pointy tip of my pick and place tool or my pick tool to go ahead and remove some of that glossy accents. I'm going to try to be a little more careful with my application here, and when that dries, our carrot nose is going to be the perfect glossy finish. Let's go ahead and make sure we have our white highlights and stripes on our second snowman. And I'm using a very light hand with my stripes. I want them to be imperfect. I think that looks really fun. And then of course, our grit paste. This is the magic and that wonderful little finishing touch. Now, what ornament is complete without a beautiful bow at the top? At least my ornaments. I love finishing all of my ornaments with a little ribbon bow up at the top. Simon Says Stamp has lots of wonderful ribbons that you can pick and choose from. I'm going to use this May Arts kind of crinkly silk ribbon for my bow today. I am using a bow tool that I have in my stash to make a 2.5-inch bow, and it's a double bow, so I'm wrapping it around twice. But you can also use like tongs of a fork or your fingers or even tape chopsticks to a countertop I've seen done to get that perfect bow. Once I have my double loop bow, I am going to snip and trim up those ends so they're nice and even. I'll put a dab of glue up at the top of my ornament along that border right below the ornament topper. And we are going to take our tweezers and attach that in place. We're going to do this for the second one as well. Your tweezers come in so handy to hold that bow down and the glue in place until it completely dries. I'll finish each of my tags by threading a little bit of the red and white baker's twine from Simon Says Stamp through each, knotting the ends, and our gift tag ornaments are complete. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for the November 2024 edition of Making the Cut. I hope that this has inspired you to create some fun gift tags of your own. The supplies I used to create these projects are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube for your convenience. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another Making the Cut video. Happy holidays and happy die cutting!
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.